Oh, damn it. There we go. Hey, everyone. It is Friday night. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together, the best damn call-in show on the interwebs, and the show that guarantees that even if we were allowed to be monetized on this bullshit platform, we would not be able to do that for this particular video. My name is Steve Boykin, and I am in the Santa Cruz Mountains for about 48 more hours. So the studio is almost entirely broken down and packed up. Not gonna be doing shows for about a week after this. I will do some like pop-in live stream updates and shit like that, but that's neither here nor there for what we got going on tonight. I am joined by my better than your co-host, Glory Jones. What's up?
It's up.
How's it going? How was your week? I feel like I know I saw you yesterday, but I feel like I haven't really seen you much this week.
Oh no, it's been good.
Right on. Well, you guys know how it works. We're gonna go over a news story or two, and in about 10 or 15 minutes, we will open up the phone lines and we will be taking your calls. The story that I want to open tonight with, I saw it last night, like right before I was getting ready to crash out. Oh shit, sorry, somebody's messaged me. Sorry. I gotta close out the message thing anyway before I can open up the tweeters, so that sort of had to happen. So here's this. This fucking showed up last night, like right before I was getting ready to go to sleep. But holy crap, dude! I watched this thing on a loop like 3 times. I'm fucking hysterical. Let me go ahead and check volume.
You're just now finding this video?
It just no. I posted it last night. That's when I saw it, was last night, because it showed up on the interwebs, I think 22 hours ago.
Yeah, so, I know. This video is like 2 years old, I think.
Is it? Okay.
Well, you know what? I recognize the guy. But chill.
Passenger causing sheer chaos in the air. And it got so bad that flight attendants had to duct tape the man to his seat. Ever since masks were required on airplanes, flight attendants say that their work has become downright dangerous.
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're going to have to attend this ass whooping. You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him like the damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there. And by the way, this man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know.
That was just fucking beautiful.
I swear I've seen this guy before. I swear I've seen this guy before. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen this guy before.
Okay. Is the video new for you though?
The video is new, but this guy, I remember him from
let's
somewhere.
Just stay with that. Let's stay with it's brand new. Okay? That's where we are right now.
I'm about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast. And where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties. Because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, started stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights.
The fact that it's Frontier is the best thing, though.
Holding it down for Frontier Airlines. This man smelled like Marlboro cigarettes.
Hold up. I
and regret.
Was this individual a white man?
Oh yeah, no, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna play it through all the way one more time because it's just too good. But yes, Glory Jones, the man was white, and apparently also, in addition to the Marlboro cigarettes, smelled of alcohol and regret.
I would have rated him so bad if he said he smelled like cigarettes.
So this is dude right here. So you got the entire plane looking back. Everybody's got a face diaper on. This dude, you can see it, but it's like down under the chin.
Belligerent passenger causing sheer chaos in the air. And it got so bad that flight attendants
Yeah, definitely white. Definitely.
had to duct tape the man to his seat.
Duct
Ever
tape,
since masks
motherfucker.
were required on airplanes, flight attendants say that their work has become downright dangerous.
Now understand something. I'm a flight attendant. That means I attend the flights. Sometimes our job has us attending to crazy people. If you push us too far, you're gonna have to attend this ass whooping.
Okay, now I just and I want to ask the audience too. I want to see some answers in the chat if you would, please. How long do you think he worked up that bit? Or do you think it's off the dome? Because this seems like a story that he may have told immediately afterward about 700 times as soon as he got off the flight, where I'm sure the rest of his crew was buying him drinks for hours and hours and hours because, you know.
You see, because on this particular flight, I'm sitting in the jump seat and I'm just looking at him act a damn fool. He's spitting and cussing and going crazy. I say, that's enough. I got up and I walked over there. And by the way, this man smelled like a pack of Marlboro cigarettes, 4 shots of Everclear alcohol, and regret. So I know something's about to go down. At this point, he touching all over my coworker's breast. And where he f***ed up at is when he touched my titties. Because I don't play that. So what I did is I took out the duct tape. I said, he got scared, start stuttering, say, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. I said, yeah, we about to mummify your ass now, boy. So we wrapped him up. Better than any Christmas present you ever see. He won't be coming on no more Frontier flights.
Alfredo. Big ups, dog. Big ups. Fucking. I wanna send that in to Louis J. Gomez. They do a real ass dude of the week or a real ass dude of the month or something where it's just and now I guess this would raise the question: is the dude who got in the fight and got duct tape the real ass dude of the week, or is Alfredo the real ass dude of the week? Now I would say Alfredo, but yes,
I would say Alfredo too.
yes, chat, you're correct. If you can't duck it, fuck it. Glory Jones saw duct tape on her fucking plane wing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, Jesus, fuck. You know, like, I didn't even notice it until we were already in my air. Like, I was leaning forward to get something out of my bag, and I sit up, look out the window, and I'm like,
that isn't a myth.
I'm like, these niggas got me flying on a plane that's got duct tape on the wing. Like, what is this shit, bro? And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to try and de-manifest the situation. And then I waited until after I landed to be like, hey, yo, Steve, Sleepy, Allie, these motherfuckers had us flying on a plane with duct tape on it. You wouldn't believe this shit. After it landed, by the way, because I would not do any of that in air.
Sorry. I'm trying to do too many things at once. I did see this before earlier today, and I want to make sure I already called. I don't even believe in this shit, and I called because I do think that this is that important. So let me pull this up. Our guest next Sunday, August 12th, tweeted this out. I'd seen it from some other places, but since we're going to have Jay on the program, I wanted to do that. So what the Senate is doing is trying to slip in a provision that I'm going to have to open over here into the infrastructure bill that is going to seriously fucking essentially flat the fuck out, kill cryptocurrency in the United States. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this link, drop it into the chats. Let's kind of go over it just briefly. As a red alert, a provision that is so poorly written it could crush the cryptocurrency ecosystem and dramatically expand U.S. government surveillance, has been added to the must-pass bipartisan infrastructure package at the last minute. Good news, Wyden, Toomey, and Loomis have introduced an amendment that would fix the language and clarify the expansion of the definition of a broker doesn't apply to open source software developers or validators like miners or stakers. The bad news, Warner, Portman, and Cinema have introduced a separate amendment that would make it worse. Call the Senate General line, tell them you want the Wyden, Toomey, and Loomis amendment, and you want them to vote no on the Warner, Portman, and Cinema amendment. Yeah, they basically want to. You're not gonna really, you fuck. Language in the bill would require crypto brokers to report customer information to the IRS. More importantly, over the weekend, it broadened the definition of what is considered a broker to anyone, quote, responsible for regularly providing any service effectuating transfers of digital assets on behalf of another person, which doesn't exclude miners, software developers, stakers, and other individuals in the crypto economy who don't have customers. The language gives a lot of power to define what should be included in the reporting requirement. It says any person who is responsible for regularly providing any service effectuating transfers of digital assets on behalf of another person, which can mean anything. If I transfer Bitcoin to you, then it can mean I become a broker. That's what they're trying to do. So please, guys, please go raise a fuck ton of hell about that. And we should continue to do so in the online spaces and shit like that as well. In the Rockfin chat. So, hey guys, we are entirely viewer supported. I really hate this part. Please, if you can, we have a GoFundMe running. We've got about 2 days left on this month's, and then we'll start it back all over again. If you can, throw a couple of bucks at it. If you can't, I get it. Please share the link. The link is in the description in both videos. At some point, I'll probably drop it in the chat. And let's see. What else did I want to do? That's the crypto thing. That's the other thing. Okay. So Joe Biden.
Oh, man. Is this the sniffing kid shit?
This is not. I did not pull that one. I did.
Is this the tan suit shit?
I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch Joe Biden sniff a kid. This is Joe Biden being really good at math.
I thought I was gonna. Oh god, the tan suit shit.
Yeah, the tan suit shit. But I mean,
President Obama's only scandals. Fuck you.
Okay, so here's Joe Biden doing math.
We have roughly 350 million people vaccinated in the United States.
You guys heard that right. Joe Biden said we have 350 million people vaccinated in the United States.
And billions around the world.
There are, at the time of the last census, 328 million people in the U.S., but I kind of felt like maybe it was because Biden was including all of the illegally trafficked children. So maybe.
But and also there's what, 7 billion people on the world today. So like how many billions do you mean are vaccinated? I can't. I can't.
It's so fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up. Jesus Christ, man.
The worst thing about that clip for me is the fact that everybody's like, oh my gosh, he wore the tan suit in honor of Obama for his birthday because his only scandal was ever wearing a tan suit on Easter. Oh, God.
So, I'm just getting bombarded with shit right now. Oh fuck, where was I even going with that? Oh, that's right. Okay, so I think you guys have I'm sure you've probably seen the clip of Cori Bush defending her private security. But I want to play it real quick, and then we'll go ahead and take a couple of calls. Josh, there was a I think 843 number that called a little bit ago. We're gonna call that back, but it won't be the first call. But we will be calling that number back. I want to play the clip of what Cori Bush says, because our good friend at the Babylon Bee had a fantastic response article to it. So I want to play the clip, and then I want to show you the article. Because the article sure as hell makes it work. You stop, Cori Bush. I was not ready for that.
The thing, I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security, because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending 200,000, if I spend 10.
She was gonna say 10 million. First, she was gonna say 10,000 after she already said 200,000. Then she was gonna say 10 million, and she caught herself and went, "Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud."
More dollars on it. You know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up. And defunding the police has to happen.
In the same breath. You taxpayers are going to have to suck it up and pay for my private security while I say nice things about defunding the police, even though I don't mean it.
Also, private security firms are just as bad as any corporate security firms are just as bad as federal police. They're just, in this case, they're just going to protect your favorite your favorite new member of the squad. Yay. Oh my God. Give me a break, honestly. And oh God, I'm gonna sound like, I don't say this to sound like, one of those pretentious conservatives or anything, but should just get a gun, honestly.
Hey. I'm an
abolitionist. If I want private security, I'm not wasting your taxpayer dollars to hire private security firms. If I know there's going to be attempts on my life, first of all, I'm focused on dismantling the system, because that's probably the biggest threat on my life, on all of our lives, really. Second of all, if I know that there's individual threats on my life, I'm getting a gun, or I'm traveling with a good friend who does. I don't know.
God bless you, Babylon Bee. God bless you.
She's wearing the fucking John Lewis Good Trouble mask too.
Cori Bush hires mercenary army to arrest anyone who doesn't want to defund the police. I fucking love it, dude. We live in a cartoon. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines. Give us a ring, 657-298-4767. Let us know what you got going on in the world. What's on your mind? You got any questions for me or Glory Jones or Sleepy Josh? You got a comment about our hero flight attendant Alfredo Riviera, or you just want to practice saying alcohol. I don't know. I have like 5 friends growing up that say alcohol, and it's just like the funniest fucking pronunciation of it to me. It really is. I enjoy the hell out of it. Suck it up, Corey Bush. That's just wild shit. Well, Sleepy, if we
There should be a call. Hello. Mute your stream. We can hear it.
Well, oh, sorry about that.
hey, there we go.
Hello.
Hey, Glory. Hey, other guy. I'm sorry. I'm here.
Steve.
Steve, yes,
Yes.
sorry.
And who are you?
Your anonymous thing today.
You
You
what?
one more
I'm
time?
sorry.
I'm all muted on my end.
Oh no, we just didn't hear what you said. That's all. Sorry.
No, I just want to talk to Steve there about the whole issue with the whole Apple thing.
The what now?
Is this the thing that they can scan all your fucking pictures now?
That.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that they're using the AI.
Well, I
So,
mean, they used the same reasons as they did to implement the chat. I mean, or at least try to implement the chat control in Europe. So it all seems very sketch, honestly.
It really does. I was reading a couple of articles about it yesterday. We had our friend and colleague on Anonymous Bites Back last night kind of say like, okay, so it's really not as bad as it sounds, but I remain skeptical. What I guess what the software doesn't go into your actual phone. Do you remember how he was explaining that, Jones?
Not too well, if I'm being honest. I remember because what I remember is their reasoning for it, which very much like resembled why they wanted to implement the chat control legislation via the EU, which is what kind of like drew me into that pattern because like, you know, I don't know AI that well, so I didn't quite grasp the details of that exactly. But yeah.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you, man. I missed all of that.
Okay, I want to totally divert the discussion at this point from the fact that software exists.
All right.
The fact that the NSO group exists.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So not only does the NSO
we're on.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so I just want to get this out. So the fact that the NSO group exists means that like everybody in the anonymous chat this morning or last night or whenever it was can now have the offending content implanted onto their devices.
So there's
opposition.
There's definitely that risk. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck. How do I want to try and say this? Like just so okay. Yes, sure. I mean, but in terms of your phone being breached,
Well,
order for them to
like he's totally right here. Like this just adds another what we call an attack vector. Just
Yeah.
because it's not being used for that right now means there's potential for it later, whether it's through exploit, whether it's by design. Like we don't fucking know. So like that is a fucking valid point. It adds another attack vector. That's why we're so against putting backdoors in encryption, because you add that attack vector, the whole thing's fucked. You're done. Like there's no point of using it anymore.
Yeah.
It's done. Even if
Yeah.
it's not even broken yet. Just
And
the
the
potential
EU
for it.
the EU's been trying to ban or outlaw encryption, and they've got some shit like basically rolling out for it. The US is doing more or less the same thing. Now they're coming after crypto too. But yeah, Josh is right. You're right to not trust this shit. I don't trust this shit at all. Josh is right in that it absolutely adds another way that you can get got. I've been saying this for quite a long time, man. Even with encryption, if you need to have private conversations, the best way to do that is like away from technology in person with someone if you can. If you can't, I understand that. And I would definitely not use like Signal for your encrypted messaging service. I would definitely not use.
Going down a Signal rabbit hole today, and I might have more information about that later. But yeah, there's like before they broke off into Open Whisper Systems, it was Whisper Systems, which fucking was owned by Twitter, dude. Like, there's all kinds of weird shit there, like that I didn't know about before. So like, because I'm trying to do some research and shit for various like secure apps and stuff, and like it's just leading me down these fucking like crazy ass rabbit holes, dude. I'm like, oh my god, all these platforms are just they've got to be compromised as fuck, all of them, including fucking Element, I think, like all of them. It's crazy.
Okay, you guys have moved beyond me in the conversation, so I'm going to drop out and open up the lines for somebody else.
All right, Bill. Well, I appreciate you calling in, and I would definitely oh fuck, dude. I don't know. I mean, because getting rid of an iPhone doesn't do much because Androids are even more fucking hackable. Not even sure, dude.
But they're going to add this back to every mobile platform, and the NSO group, the Israeli spy firm, sells hacking services for zero-touch deployment of malware that gives the client complete remote access, so they could actually load the offending content onto your phone.
So why don't use cell phones?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're right. And there's something, I don't know if you saw the article or not, but our good friend Whitney Webb, in response to that NSO and Pegasus story, put out a story in I believe Mint Press that goes over another Israeli spyware firm called Toka that has an entire Internet of Things hacking tool suite. So it's not just phone, it's anything that can be connected to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth.
Exactly. That is the fourth industrial revolution all over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly
100%.
that.
And with that, I'll let you go. Have a good night.
All right. Thanks for calling in and for watching ABB too.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Take care.
Bye.
Josh, you want to call the 843 number back, please?
Yeah.
What's that area code?
I can't remember. East Coast, maybe.
East Coast.
Maybe.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
this is Slow News Day calling you back. Hello,
How's it
are
going,
you there?
Cal?
Good.
Hello.
How are you? For everyone who doesn't know who this is Frantic Missy on the line here. New friend.
Hello.
Hello.
I wouldn't say new. I've been lurking for a while.
New to me.
I
We'll go
love it.
with Moody.
I was just getting in a
Hell yeah.
conversation on Twitter. I was just following back with someone on Twitter about what the pro and pronoun stands for. I'm like, professional, obviously.
Fucking funny. That's funny. So how you doing, man? You had like a handful of fucking wild ass things that you were throwing at me in the chat that you had that you could, bring up in terms of
I stuck my hand. Yeah, I stuck my hand in my mailbox today and pulled out a handful of fire ant larvae. That was amazing.
fuck all that.
I dumped a bunch of nuts. It's not even. It felt like Cheetos. I'm never gonna eat Cheetos again in my life. It's never gonna happen. I was like, "What is that, mail? What's back there?" And I pulled my hand out and I was like, "Those are fire ants."
Fuck all that.
Fire ants are the worst.
I can't even make this shit up. I threw my boots, my neighbors. I was screaming like, in the South we call it a stuck pig. I was screaming like a stuck pig. Threw my boots, my rain boots. Was throwing my hand around like I only got stung like twice, which is a miracle. And yeah, I'm never eating Cheetos again. I dumped a bottle of poison, which I'm sure the environmentalists are definitely gonna hate. But I dumped a bottle of poison on the mailbox, and then I realized like I got to do hose math in the morning because my hose does not reach my mailbox to hose it off, and I don't want to get poison
So
on
now
my
you
mail.
gotta burn it.
It'll be an interesting Saturday morning. No,
Just burn it. Set the fucking thing on fire.
Yeah. When you got to connect hoses to get them somewhere, hose math. I'm like, how many feet is this hose? How many feet is that hose? Got to connect them somehow. Do I have a connector? Got to go to Lowe's. It's gonna be Lowe's hose math all day tomorrow morning.
Fire ants are actually the worst.
We don't want them to go. We don't want them to go postal. We don't want them to go postal.
Yeah. Did you get bit at all? Because those are the worst.
She says she got hit twice.
I only had 2 bites on my hand. That's the crazy. Well,
that's lucky.
Like
There's been so many times where I've caught myself like, because the thing with stepping in a red ant hill is you don't notice that you've stepped in one until you have like 50 bites and they're all over your shoes. And it's the worst thing ever.
Mine was in my mailbox. Mine's in my mailbox. What kind of sneaky, crafty, creepy shit? I don't know if I'm allowed to curse or not. Is that fire?
You're absolutely allowed to curse.
That is some creepy stuff.
I mean, I get lizards that live in my family's mailbox sometimes. So.
Fuck, man.
I'm gonna send you a picture of the stuff I put. Like I feel like a water bottle full of like professional grade stuff that you're supposed to dilute. No, I got the whole thing on there. And I'm like, damn it! Now I gotta hose it off in the morning. Hope I don't kill a squirrel or something. Like it's gonna be ugly.
Well, I mean, if you have a pile of squirrel corpses around your mailbox in the morning, you can at least like mount them in scary positions as a further future warning to anything else that would want to come fuck with your mailbox.
I did this to myself because I told someone the other day, I got all bossy. Women do. I got all bossy and was like, you have bees in your mailbox. You should put a dryer sheet in there, like a bossy pants, right? Yeah, well, guess what? Fire ants don't care about no dryer sheets.
That is solid information.
I get kind of tell someone how to live their life. That's what I get for being bossy. It came back to bite me literally on the hand.
Out of all the places you can get bit by fire ants, and out of all of the places that I have been bit by fire ants, the hand is not necessarily that bad. My dumbass fucking was like drunk as a lemur down in Waxahachie, Texas, and fucking decided it would be
never.
It used to be an occupation. So a buddy of mine and I decided that we were gonna do the thing that like drunk guys do, which is beat the hell out of each other and roll around in the dirt and shit. And I had like rolled the dude.
So it works out.
rolled the dude over, like, and as we were both coming down, our elbows got into a fire ant fucking apparently like mega city, because within seconds, and I understand that we were drunk, so several seconds,
Yeah,
let's
but it's
say
the ground. It was
realistically.
expected from the ground, not in a box, like where you get your mail from. Nobody
That's true. That's
expects
true.
position and fire ants in their mailbox. Those two things
Are
on
you-
stage, no one expects those things.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Do you think
I mean, I've
somebody
gotten
threw
bit
a fire
before,
ant
but
nest in your mailbox? Is somebody running around throwing fire ants in your mailbox though? Because that's fucked up. I'd put a scope on that
I
mailbox.
feel bad. Like, if there's a shooting at my local post office, I had nothing to do with it. Not my mailbox. I'm sure it had nothing to do with that trauma. Because you got to
In
remember,
the
like,
future, for the rest of the chat, all alibis provided by Slow News Day will be $15.99. Just fucking with you. I want to hear why we're the aliens, Missy. That's what I want to hear.
Columbo. Oh, my alien theory. Well, my alien theory is super weird. Okay, first of all, I think the aliens are us. And you have to think of it like
I'm with
this.
you.
And I have no proof for this, so this is literally a theory. I have a little bit of proof, but not a lot. If you think about it like this, when you see pictures that newspapers and articles put out about what we're going to look like in the far future, it shows us with giant eyes, right, tiny mouths, and bigger heads. Well, imagine that biology continues to exist. Remember that we can 3D print organs at this point, okay? When China is not, sacrificing Uyghurs or North Koreans to have the #1 organ harvesting industry in the world, well, what they're doing is they're also trying to 3D print organs. That will happen. That is very close on the forefront. That is coming so fast. So if you think about it like this, it starts with printing organs, right? Eventually then you go to cloning. If we started cloning ourselves, right? And the elite, they have some weird stuff going on already. I got friends that would argue with you right now that they're already cloning people. So like Avril Lavigne's not even real, like, or whatever, right? If we start cloning, right, in the far, far future, if you look back, what's to say that your genitals don't evolve away? You don't need them. Why would you need clothing? Well, you don't need clothing if you don't have genitals, correct? Aliens, the few things that you can say that are indefinitely true when it comes to alien contact is A, they don't wear clothes. B, they don't have genitals. C, they tend to go for the wrong, how do I put this politely, hole. Maybe because that's the one hole they actually still have. You still have to excess weight. But if you're continuously cloning, what happens when you clone is that eventually the DNA will wear down. You're going to end up with a humanitarian crisis. How do you continue the human race if you can't maintain the DNA? You got to go back in time to figure out how we sexually reproduce. That's why they take cows and tear them apart and dissect cows. That's why they anally probe. Well, they don't have a vagina. They don't know what it is. They've never seen one. That's why their heads are bigger, their mouths are smaller, their eyes are bigger. Couldn't be social media. I'm sure it's good for you. And the cloning. Eventually, the DNA is going to break down. And I think at that point is when we are forced to understand and comprehend and understand and come up with time travel. And I think that we're not altering. I don't think they're brilliant beings. I think they lack creativity. I think they lack knowledge of humans and how we understand and work and how we communicate with each other. I think they lack a lot of things. That's just one type of alien, though. Some of the aliens are us. And there's other aliens that just pass through our universe because they understand how to tell universe to universe. Now, I call it the bathtub theory. It's like you ever like had a bubble bath and the bubbles in the bathtub, right? They clump into a group. And sometimes bubbles float away and sometimes bubbles float towards that clump, and sometimes bubbles pop, right? They're
I'm
beings.
visualizing it.
They're multi-universe. Yeah, think about it. They're multi-universe beings, and they are able to have the technology to travel from bubble to bubble to bubble. You got to think of our universe as in our current reality universe. Because it's not just our universe, it's our current reality universe. Okay? Think of it like a bubble. And sometimes those bubbles touch, and sometimes those bubbles move away, and sometimes they come back. I think that there are things that get stuck here and are left over. And I think they walk among us. We're in human suits, or God knows what. And I think there's also things that just fly through that are like, hey, let's mess with the Navy because we're on vacation. Oh, watch this, guys. Good time. Hey, we should come back next year.
Can I tell you something, Missy? I have an almost identical theory about aliens. I do. I have an almost identical theory about aliens. I have always thought that the little green men that we see with the big eyes and, about the same amount of fingers, I've always thought that was us.
They're gray. They're gray.
Great. Yeah. But I've always thought that that's us.
You're gray.
I've always thought that I thought that they were coming back to see at like what point in history it all got irreversibly bad, because my original hypothesis on this was that the shape that they're in and the skin color, all of that shit was due to it was due to nuclear radiation. Huh?
No, they're deteriorating because of DNA. And it's the craziest thing.
Right. We're trading theories at this point.
Hunger Force episode where they took they had the brownies and they kept making the brownies over and over again, and the brownies like came back with knives. Claws. That's what happened with the brown, right? I watched that. It wasn't like people were like, oh, like multiplicity. I was like, that would have been a way better movie to learn a lesson from. No, I learned it from the brownie monsters for freaking Hunger Force. I was like, DNA, you're right. DNA deteriorates if you try to copy something enough times. Even if it's a great thing, it's a good thing. If you copy it too many times, you end up with abnormalities, which are not good. And if you look at them, they look sick. They look sick. They look like they're deteriorating. And I think it's a survival, mission. And that's why they go through it's not just our time. They've been around they've been around since the beginning of time. And they're like, okay, what do I push to make it do? They can't understand human sexuality. It's fascinating to them. Not fascinating in like a sexual way, like we would assume, but fascinating in a scientific way, because they're like, dude, we are literally falling apart. We can telecommunicate, right? We don't even need our mouth. We don't have to wear clothes. Like we're so evolved. But at the same time, like, dude, we're so Stone Age because we are dying. And we have to figure out what goes in the what place to make it do, to make humans continue to survive. They can't understand how we reproduce. They can't understand human sexuality. And that's why they're fascinated with it. And that's why people get probed, because they're like, we got one of those. You got one of those. They're like, vagina, what's that?
They couldn't just watch porn? They can come here to visit and snatch us up, but they can't they can't like hover over somebody's shoulder long enough to catch the Pornhub.
Okay, let me tell you. King James wrote a book called Demonology. It was a bestseller. Everyone was super interested in who the witches were and who to kill, right? Like, oh, witches for like 200 years, right? Now, like, no one has even heard of that book. You're assuming that the written word, that the information that's available on it is still available. If you don't maintain the record, how do you maintain the knowledge? How do you?
Yeah, no, that's fair. What I'm suggesting though is let's say hypothetically, aliens come down.
They have like 3 clips, and they probably have gay porn clips because that's what survived.
Okay, so they're gay aliens. Are they just so I have the full picture? We've got aliens with deteriorating DNA, and we're probably gay, and we're also probably hella autistic.
No.
No.
You have to remember what porn clips get the most hits right now.
I don't know.
It's gay porn.
Like in my house or globally?
It is gay porn. Gay porn gets the most hits. So what survived history? Well,
in my house with black strippers.
The archives that they've kept, they deleted the moon landing, sweetie. They deleted all the footage from the moon landing. It wasn't considered applicable. So
well, they said they taped over it.
And it's probably the thing that survived is it was popular, which is probably gay porn. So like, okay, all the probing makes total sense. They're not gay. They have no sexuality at all. They're clones.
You are really close to convincing me of this.
They don't understand sex at all.
I'm almost there.
That's why they're real life. If you just think about it logically, that makes sense. What survives the purge of culture and history? The thing that is the most popular. William Shakespeare might not even be a real guy. He might even be real. There's very little evidence that he's a real person. Okay? But he helped write the King James Bible, damn it. And everyone knows that. So it just what gets through the culture barrier? What gets through the filter? And I think gay porn is considering it's the most statistically popular type of porn that gets the most hits, then that's going to be probably what gets preserved in the long term as a snapshot of our time in history. It's like a time capsule. Because they've evolved beyond sex. They've evolved beyond sexuality at all. They think of that as being primitive. And they literally have to go back in time to understand how we function because they are non-functional. And they got to figure out what we got to do.
I'm fairly happy to remain primitive if that's what it comes down to. So are you saying then that the solution to this would be just go forth and multiply? Is the solution more fucking? Is the solution like more procreation? There is a depopulation agenda going on. Is the way we combat that by making more of us?
Well, you got what you're talking about.
Is this a reversible trend? That's what I'm trying to get at, Missy. This is and then we got about 5 minutes left on this call before we have to take another caller. But is that what we're trying to?
Wrong. You're looking at time from a perspective. You're thinking of time as in time and place. You're thinking of time as in like I'm gonna go back. Like you're thinking of like time like Back to the Future time. That's not how it works. Marty's not going to get hit on by his mom. It doesn't work that way, okay? The way that time works, it also when you go into the sixth dimension, okay? What you're looking at is time, place, and circumstance, okay? So our current reality that we live in at this point, at this time, at this set of circumstances, okay? At these decisions. I mean, if I take a left, that's going to create a whole other reality. At our reality that we're currently presiding in, none of that stuff matters. Because the things that are coming back in our time, it could be as simple as taking a right turn on the right road by the right person, and that would change things. That's why that John Peter stuff freaked me out so much. Because I would read that and I'd be like, dude, that kind of makes sense. They want to go back and get an IBM computer to prevent World War III. That makes kind of sense. Are you familiar with John?
That was my original Aliens as Us theory, is that they were trying to prevent that.
Yep. Well, I don't, if they're still here, we haven't prevented anything. But when was the last time you heard of a good, like, abduction story? Like, when it has, like, all the check marks of being real. When was the last time you heard a good one?
It's been a minute.
So maybe we've already defeated that. Maybe we've already defeated that alien. Like I said, there's a second kind of alien. And those are like tourists that are like, hey, let's go look at the pyramids. Look at these monkeys. Ah. They're like, oh, well, we're just waiting for the next bubble. Oh, it showed up. We're going to the next bubble. Like a cruise ship. Going to the next location. Like a Mediterranean cruise, right? We're going to go see Ibiza. Okay. Like, that's the second type of alien. The type of alien we've been seeing, that we've been reported in the news, that we've had discussed. I mean, when was the last time we saw any sort of negative or human controlling or crazy or probing or animal dissecting activity? It's been a while.
It's been a minute since a cow got turned inside out. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. They want to find out how it works. They can't understand. They don't have animals then. They grow meat in factories. They're already doing it. They're already doing it. My freaking local
that is
place that I love, my son told me. My son told me, he goes, I want to try Greek food because I want to know what they ate in the Bible. I was like, that's actually the gyro. He's like, what's a gyro? I was like, it starts with a G, but it's not pronounced like that at all. We'll get one. You'll try it. You probably won't like it, but we'll try it. And they had an impossible gyro. And I'm like, dude, what? And it had the most reviews of everything on the menu on Uber Eats. They're like, this is the best one. I'm like, really? How impossible is it? Like a cow getting turned inside out impossible? Like, let's just do a little bit of research here. And it's crazy what they're already starting to do with genetics and in factories. And you have to also remember, they've already started making human hybrids. And we know that because the Chinese government admitted it in the news recently, like it wasn't even, like it was a sneeze, like it was nothing. And no one said anything about it. So we are headed down a path where, again, I have not, when was the last time you heard of a malevolent rather than a benevolent alien presence? Usually it's just a messing with pilots, right?
Raise an accurate and fascinating point there. You do. Missy, we got to wrap up the call.
Fine. That's great. When you understand,
but thank you so much for calling in, and we will.
Yes.
We're gonna do this again. Like I said, I was talking to you the other day or today or what the fuck ever. I'll be moving and then out of town again, but end of the month we'll get back on the same page. Hell yeah!
If you need camping advice, stay away from the national forests. People disappear.
Oh, I know.
Left and right.
I mean, I'm specifically moving to a place where
we need to fire the sky narrative to disprove everything we just said.
I mean, I'm going where people where a lot of people disappear. A lot of people get disappeared in Humboldt County. They do.
We got two in the queue. Wrap it up.
Well,
okay. Missy, you're fantastic.
Yes,
we will talk.
That was awesome.
Hold it down and watch out for the fire ants.
You guys can follow me on Twitter under Frantic Messy. You can find me on Spotify. I've got a bunch of other people's podcasts, working on my own. Can't talk to myself under Frantic Messy. Just Google search me, YouTube search me, Spotify search me. I'm everywhere. I love you guys. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate you.
Thanks for
You
calling
take care,
in.
darling.
And watch out for aliens.
Of course.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
You too.
You are live.
Hey there.
Hello.
On Tuesday?
Yes.
Is that Glory?
Yes.
All right. Well, this is another worldview is possible.
What's happening, Ian?
Okay, my G.
How you doing, man? It's good to hear from you.
I'm doing all right. I think we are living in glorious times. We forget the Great Reset. This is the Great Unmasking, which ironically involves everyone being forced to wear masks.
Right.
I mean, there's some weird crap happening right now where, Max Blumenthal calling out Adam Schiff and Franco calling out, Corey Bush, are being attacked as some sort of violent pogrom against the neoliberal corporatists. I don't know what the hell that's about. I mean, can you still be on the left and support a guy like Adam Schiff in any respect?
I don't know. I don't know why people are mad at that, honestly. I don't know if I've said this on stream before, but I know I've said it before. Like, if I'm having a protest like that, and a politician, especially a blatantly corporate brought one, such as Adam Schiff, shows up, I'm sitting there like with the activists like, hey, yo, guys. Oh, it's about to go down. But no, that's not what happened. Instead, they were like kissing his ass. I can't believe that's how that situation. Well, actually, I can believe that's how it went down because it was a performance. But still, it's ugh. It's like, oh, it like hurts.
How is Medea Benjamin on the same side of the issue as TYT?
And Adam Schiff, for that matter.
I think it's the DC bubble, honestly. It must be. Because, okay, so full disclosure, in my pinned tweet is a speech I gave at a No War with Iran rally that was primarily organized by Code Pink in Miami. And I think in the background of that video, actually, my pinned tweet, you can see Medea Benjamin there. After I made that speech, I walked off, and then who comes to me but Medea Benjamin herself, and she asked me to sign up because she said, we could use more people like me. So yeah, Medea, when you get people like my fam, like Franco, you're getting exactly what you asked for in that moment, okay? Please.
It makes literally no sense that Medea Benjamin would be sitting there kissing the asses of Corey Bush and Adam Schiff. I mean, in any probable universe, I don't understand how that works.
Okay, let's actually think about that, though, because what is Code Pink? Who's it comprised of? And who's Medea? And that is a well-educated, well-off woman who at the time Code Pink was formed was at least approaching retirement, who was really mad at George Bush.
No, it's true.
Really mad at George Bush, and the fact that Code Pink had to keep that energy throughout the Obama years, and they did, to their credit. Like, I think that kind of led to the perfect conditions for that like bubble brain breaking that happened when Trump got elected. I think that as much as anybody else inside that wretched shithole of a fucking state, district, whatever, fucking, I think that to survive, they all just sort of made a decision to remove a part of their fucking brain. So okay, I don't know if you were watching the show last night or not, but I did. I think it was last night, maybe it was Wednesday. I can't fucking remember anymore. I went through a video that was made by a former professional stage hypnotist, and he broke down the propaganda that relates to, and we're on YouTube, so I gotta tread lightly here.
Sure.
The current world that we find ourselves in, and the messaging that surrounds it, and the rituals that take
Yeah.
part in the repeating that, the things show up in threes, and then so you do face and hands and like that kind of shit, and it's all done ritualistically. And the fear porn campaign that took place leading up to the old boop boop, the Michelle Pfeiffer, if you will, shout out to Jimmy Jean into the microcosm. The everything that led up to that, in terms of like how the hypnotist does his show, is like they go out for 6 weeks in advance and they hype it up, and they do all these big bright colors and very like just bold advertising, all like in the 6 block area or wherever the fuck, 4-6 weeks before doing a show. They go in to do the show, they schedule the show for midnight. Dude doesn't come out until midnight 15, midnight 20, sometimes midnight 30, just forcing his audience into a state of heightened fear and tension, making them that much more suggestible.
Sure. Yeah, I saw it. That was a great segment, great report. I think I even bookmarked the BitChute video, the original one from the guy. It's important. And the funny thing about that is that I don't know, people may have been following Caitlin Johnstone lately, and she was like sort of criticizing the chick who I think obliquely attacked Whitney Webb, who's kind of focused more on sort of AI and singularity and all that. But she was like pointing at that and going like, I just don't understand what the fuck any of this is about, and kind of poo-pooing the entire no boop boop movement. And it's interesting because just this week she came out and said, yeah, there shouldn't be soldiers in the streets of Sydney, and forced injections are not right. And, there's a reason why people don't trust everything you tell them right now, because you've been lying to them for 5-10 years now. And, it's odd to see, that sort of turn where even she's got to at some point go, hey, this is insane. And yet at the same time, you've got, Tom Hartman's Padawan basically standing for Vosh against Charlie Kirk, who in this case may actually be right. We're talking about antibody dependent enhancement. Science on the Delta variants is very shaky. We're not quite sure if it's more transmissible or not. We're not quite sure if it's more dangerous or not, but it does seem like it's getting everyone who got the shot. So it's a very odd situation we find ourselves in, where, I've got to, sort of push Caitlin to do the right thing. And apparently she's starting to. And a guy like Kyle, who has just, supposedly been pushed overboard by TYT, is still sucking up to the brain washed and Voshism.
Well, apparently Kyle got booted from doing that interview with Bernie too, where he specifically only requested a crystal ball on whatever the name of their fucking boring ass podcast is. But yeah, apparently he got booted from that too. So licking the boot isn't really helping.
Straight ghosted like he did to Dory, dude. It's pretty awesome. It's called karma, baby. Payback's a bitch.
This is a fantastic Panda in the Rockfin chat, I think, or did I read that wrong? Where'd that go? Where'd it go? Fuck, I just saw it. Maybe I read it wrong. God damn it. Whatever. So it said when Adam Schiff and AOC and Chris Gilman, sorry. If Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, and AOC show up at your protest, it's not a protest. It's a fundraiser.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Fucking beautiful.
Good quip. Yeah. But your chats are high level, dude. I mean, honestly, they are some of the biggest and most thoughtful audiences around, really.
Best looking chat in fucking interwebs history. Hands down.
I can't even bring it I can't even bring down the number that hard. You know, it would be like a 10, but like with me, it's like a 7.5 if you add me in there. But still, pretty good.
No, man, no, we're even with you, Ian, we're still at like a strong 8.3.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, I mean, there's a reason why I worked in radio, man. It wasn't because I looked good.
Hey,
but,
it's fucking dude. So it's because somebody, Jerry Leto in the chat was like, hey, you know, about the criticism of Medea Benjamin. Like, she's probably gotten the face of more war criminals than like anybody. And yes, that's true. That's true. But her and he conceded the at a point in my response, which was, but that doesn't excuse siding with Adam Schiff. It doesn't excuse siding with Chuck Schumer on this, you know, and just because we're criticizing her for this thing, that doesn't mean that like we want her head on a pike, you know, like Code Pink does good things. Code Pink is a very, very recognizable, and in many, many, many cases, especially for women, first step into activism. That's fucking cool. Yeah. That's solid. I appreciate the fuck out of that. You know, so I in no way, shape, or form trying to be like, fuck that, you know. She's wrong on this, and it's okay to point that out.
Yeah, you know, Code Pink to me is to a degree. Code Pink to me is like the Chomsky of, you know, activism. It's like the gateway drug to getting it right. You know, if you need help and you're totally fucking backwards, then they will definitely set you somewhat straight. But, you know, don't expect any you know, real truth about what's going on in Rojava, for instance, or, you know, someone sent me a couple links to some old Code Pink tweets about like, you know, the Syrian resistance, and just, you know, it was like, what, did Amy Goodman write this shit? Holy cow, where did this come from? You know, if
I don't know why so many people fall for Rojava. It's like it's like a fantasy at best. At best. Yeah. It's a fantasy.
Isn't it like Israeli colony or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the Kurdish separatists have sold out to Israel in order to, you know, try and gain, you know, Kurdistan and stuff, despite the fact that the Syrian government was already, you know, protective of minorities. And I mean, they're also aided by the US military. I mean, that whole area is occupied by US military, which is why it's allowed to exist.
Back when we had our no-fly zones in Iraq, you know, in Iraqi Kurdistan, and you know, we were basically preparing them for the slaughter. Robert Baer was stationed in northern Iraq, in the Iraqi Kurdish area. You know, that should tell you something. The CIA posts up in these spots. Yeah, they are not your friends. They are not going to be doing anything radical. If they do, it's only because it, you know, gives them a little bit of credibility for a moment, you know, to avoid looking like they're like, you know, Langley East or something, which of course is Riyadh. But, you know, we're definitely in some weird territory here. And so I will say there is a problem within Code Pink that I have noticed. There's this new Code Pink Congress movement. And I've heard Medea talk about how she's got like the ear of, you know, various Joe Biden National Security Council staffers and advisors, and, you know, they'll take her calls and shit, which is dangerous because now you're selling out for access. Now, you know, if you say the wrong thing too many times in public, you're not going to be able to get those people to answer your phone calls. So in the case of Code Pink Congress, I noticed that there's someone by the name of Marcy Wines So Grandly, I think is her name. I remember her from killing the pony rides at the Santa Monica Farmers Market, you know, as like a great animal activist, you know, coup. She went through some farmer, you know, rural lady from Ventura's Facebook page and took some pictures out of context of her taking a sip on the ski slopes to show that she was an alcoholic, and a picture of her with her ranch guns to show that she's a gun nut, and not exactly the most ethical human being I've ever seen. And every campaign she involves herself with is the Marcy Winograd campaign. So this is a little troubling when I see this woman working her way into the Code Pink milieu. And of course, I think she has a homunculus by the name of Lauren Steiner, who now lives somewhere in North Carolina. Really, really awful human being. I mean,
I had the unfortunate
word for it.
Yeah, I had the unfortunate pleasure, the unfortunate displeasure of seeing Lauren Stein in person. Basically, there was this group that I met because so it actually stems from a Code Pink meeting, because there was this really nice, because I went there to talk about Julian Assange to the people, because I wasn't sure like how supportive they were with him, because it was like LA Code Pink. So, I'm like, I just want to make sure. So I went there to talk about him. And then one of the people I met there was this really nice lady named Maureen, who helps run healthcare for all in Los Angeles, and she would give me rides and everything. So she was awesome, and she invited me to this MLK Day event about healthcare and civil rights. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. So went there, and it was like a documentary screening. So it's her and like the healthcare for all people, and then a bunch of Black organizers that are like outlining this film and talking about it. In the front row of this theater that they're doing the screening in is Lauren Steiner streaming the whole thing, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, isn't that Lauren Steiner? So everybody's talking, and then halfway through the organizers explaining the event, this girl gets up and she's like, and big reminder, everybody, I'm streaming the whole thing. So if you're in the back, then you'll be able to see it too. I'm Lauren Steiner on Twitter, robust opposition, She's going on and on and on over these Black organizers and shit. And you just hear half the theater go, Lauren. So that's that was my first in-person experience with Lauren Steiner. It was a bunch of organizers telling her to shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's a natural reaction. And my first experience meeting Lauren Steiner was as part of the Occupy movement. I was involved with Occupy Venice. And at some point, Marcy Winograd was brought in to speak to Occupy Venice. And I don't know, I think she noticed that I was there. And the next week, Lauren Steiner was dispatched to help occupy Venice for us. Though I was always wondering why she wasn't occupying Beverly Hills, where she's from. But she always had a great, list of demands and things we all needed to do to get our shit together to make, Occupy the more efficient movement. And part of that was abandoning general assemblies and doing everything online, so that, she and her digitally connected, digital divide, non-challenged people could control everything, essentially. Avoid any of that pesky democracy. Just let us run the movement for you from here, kind of. And it was problematic. She definitely, when I told my story about why I got into activism with Occupy as opposed to what I'd been doing with, other groups and at KPFK, I, explained that, this radio station had been taken over by the CIA, where I think Marcy Winograd had been acting as the producer for Lila Garrett. So, it was she thought that was violence, maybe. I don't know. It was violent of me to tell people my story, which, is contrary to our organizing principles and our ground rules and our safe space and all that. So I had to kind of call her out on that shit, and she did eventually have to apologize. But it was, you could tell something that sort of was a minor problem that sort of never went away.
So hey, Ian, we gotta wrap this one up, brother. But thank you so much for calling in.
This was awesome.
Yeah,
and I will. I will give I'll give some thoughts on Lauren Steiner at some point. I will.
Okay. Yeah, what we need to do is just keep Code Pink honest, is what I think. You know, obviously they're doing great work, and whenever Medea comes across a neocon on Iran, I'm all for her. The problem is she doesn't know that Adam Schiff is a fucking neocon, apparently.
Yeah.
So she should be on
the entire establishment is neocon. So like everybody entering that system is supporting that, like those like neocon ideas and those neocon policies, unless they fervently stand against it. So yeah.
Exactly. Bless you all. It's wonderful to have this opportunity, and I really appreciate the show. I'm sorry I missed last week. I was busy surfing. So, you know, night surf.
All good.
Well, hell yeah, man. Well, thank you, brother, and do call back in next week after, whenever you got time.
All right, sounds good. Oh, hey, one quick question: what's the situation? Are you leaving the Santa Cruz Mountains? I hope you're not going to Florida.
I'm not going to Florida. Although,
okay,
some of my favorite people live there and are from there.
Yeah, no, I actually have a favorite person in Florida now too, but that was like the first time.
And dude, if Nico ever, like, for whatever reason got like Oprah rich and built an MCSC compound, I'd go kick it like at least 5 months out of the year. I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah. But no, I'm going up to Humboldt.
All right. So where's the new SMD compound going to be?
In southern Humboldt County, a little bit more inland from like Redway, Garberville kind of area.
Okay.
And there was somebody, I know there's somebody that listens to the show that either lives in like Garberville or Eureka or something like that, because when I had to evacuate last year, so they like reached out to me, but I already knew where I was going, and it was all good. But like I know that there's like Slow News Day fucking Doncopter Army knuckleheads up there. I know there are. I do.
Awesome. Okay. Well, then I will cut off myself just so that, you know, Sleepy Josh doesn't have to do it. Good night.
All right, bro.
Much love.
Have a good night, man.
Good luck.
We have Jerry on the line.
Hello.
Oh, how you doing? Is this the Get Your Shit Together show that everybody's talking about?
Yes,
sir.
Hello, nice to talk to you guys again.
Yes, you too.
The reason I called was to say that been a long time admirer of Vanessa Beeley and Corey Morningstar, and you guys had that discussion last night, right? With the two women.
That was
did. It was so
cool,
awesome,
man.
I don't think y'all understand like how
magical
how gassed we were when Corey popped into the meeting and we got to see her face.
Dude, I almost went, "Hey, wait, Corey, your camera's on," and then like pulled back at the last sec. It just was like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything, and maybe, you know, maybe
we were like squealing on the inside. We were like, oh my god.
The reason I called in was to give you, Gloria and Steve, the opportunity to perhaps give a recap of that discussion. I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely will.
Yeah, we talked a lot about propaganda with regards to the entire COVID narrative, the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Great Reset, etc. And we also talked a lot about one of our main subjects was the NGO industrial complex. of, you know, all these charities and quote unquote activist groups and other non-governmental organizations that aid in the agenda of the fourth industrial revolution under the guise of activism and charity. So yeah, we talked a lot about those. And then we also did bring in stuff from like the like the science around the real science, or you know, science around vaccines, and also what's going on in Syria as well. And yeah, that's what I can think of for now. That's what first came to my mind.
Gary, I experience every show in basically a kind of a blackout. Like I'm just sort of in the moment here, and I don't retain really like what happens while we're on camera and we're live. So I have to go back and watch. Like I'm sure I probably made an ass out of myself once or twice. Because that usually happens. Holy crap, Corey Morningstar is an adorable woman. And yeah, no, I mean there was a lot of talk about the destruction that has to take place to the planet in order to provide the raw materials for the Internet of Things. We had an idea about turning off the smartphone for a week.
Yes.
All of us just turning off the phone for a week. And that one act in and of itself can do extreme damage to the 5G infrastructure. It can do significant economic I don't know, unease. I'm not exactly sure how to phrase this in a way that won't get us thrown off of YouTube. But it's a thought. It's a thought. A week without a phone. My idea was that we should start the day before Thanksgiving.
Was there any talk of a cashless Friday?
Yes. Well, I know at one point. I know at one point we brought up like, you know, don't do Black Friday this year, don't do Cyber Monday this year. Like I know that was said at some point during the conversation, if I remember correctly.
The question I asked was originated from the idea that the World Economic Forum wants to eliminate cash and turn everybody basically into human credit cards. So I wondered if in the discussion with Vanessa and Corey that if that aspect of the COVID situation, the global situation, was discussed.
Yeah, getting everybody onto a digital dollar, getting everybody onto the blockchain, that kind of aspect. Yeah, I mean, we absolutely touched on it. It was Corey was with us for like 2.5 hours. Vanessa was with us for nearly 2. And we went deep. We did the whole show on Rockfin just because we knew we couldn't do it on YouTube. It's just everything that we talked about would have got us thrown off of the platform here. We thought, I do remember now, talked a lot about how this whole thing has been affecting kids, and really ultimately how they're the target of all of this, because you need a whole generation that is absolutely like desensitized to like lockdown protocols, to being faceless, to being, you know, stuck in front of a computer screen for every aspect of your existence. And they're getting that out of these kids if we fucking let them.
Before moving on to some either lesser or more important topics, could you summarize in a couple of points that discussion with Vanessa and Corey, the things that stood out that should make people want to go and watch the entire discussion and listen very closely?
For the simple fact that Corey and Vanessa had never appeared together on camera for an interview like this, you should want to watch the whole thing, because these are two friends who Vanessa self-admits, and Corey like almost dotingly smiles about their relationship, is that Vanessa is Corey's student, protege. So that story is somewhere in that 2.5 hour interview. And that should definitely make you want to check that out. But you get information from two of the most informed women on the planet that relates directly to their areas of expertise, including the way that the NGO industrial complex interferes, tears apart, and helps facilitate the destruction, not just in Syria, but as we were getting ready to wrap up with Vanessa, Lebanon. She just did an interview with I don't want to fuck up her name, Manara Wari, I think. Amari, I got fuck. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean it's heavy and funny and fascinating.
Okay, then I wanted to ask the question of both yourselves and perhaps people who are contemplating calling in. What do you think are the real chances of humanity establishing true peace on Earth in this generation?
That's a loaded question.
Oh, it's kind of a dumb question. Yeah.
I mean, okay, so
and I'm just joking.
Yeah, I think my generation. In my generation, I think something like that at least would be possible out of the mere virtue of the fact that the empire is in its decline. So eventually it will fall, and perhaps what could come out of that will be a more peaceful world without these imperialist, white supremacist, hyper materialist, and downright sociopathic uplifting institutions. So I think it's possible based off the fact that our current system is in decline, and I'll always keep fighting for that as an activist. And yeah, that's a vague answer, but it's the one I'm going with.
So maybe, Gloria, that would equate with we have a 50-50 chance as a humanity of stopping wars in this generation.
Yeah, you know what? 50-50, I like those odds. I can work with those odds. I worked with worse, so.
So there are multiple.
That I wanted to bring up was for people to consider going to the Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry channel and listening to another interview by David Meiswinkle, who you've interviewed in the past, Steve.
No, I haven't interviewed David. I've interviewed Richard, and Richard Gage. He'll be back on. I've talked to David before. I talked to David like quite a bit years and years back. I should have him on. I don't know why I haven't. I'm sorry.
I thought you did have him on.
No, I haven't had David Michael on.
The Last American Vagabond, Ryan.
Ryan and I went to different high schools together.
But people should listen to that posted on Lawyers Committee for 9/11 Inquiry channel, the latest interview with Dave Meiswinkle. The man was he was on fire. I mean, his life story is very fascinating. He's traveled the world. He's seen the world, and it was a great interview because he got into the philosophical aspects of living in the skin on planet Earth, and for that reason, I would recommend it highly to yourselves and others, along with, of course, the discussion between yourselves and Vanessa and Corey. But in leaving, I would just like to thank you guys for all you do, your willingness to travel paths that a lot of people shy away from because they're important for humanity, for a better future for future generations. So thank you all for that, and best regards.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Jerry. I appreciate the hell out of
thanks
that.
for calling in. I love your questions.
Yeah. And by the way, the right answer to your question about peace on earth is Carnation Revolution. That's the right answer to that question. Or at least an answer to that question. There's also like them aliens. Like if they blue beam the planet, that's technically peace on earth because now we have that one world government that we're supposedly organizing for to fight them aliens, when in reality it's just the path to a one world government.
Speaking of the possibility of extraterrestrial life, if you could score an interview with the lawyer Daniel Sheehan, who's
yeah. Well, so this show, Slow News Day, is all carried on Aftermath FM.fm on Sundays, and that's Clyde Lewis's network. So Clyde is he basically has the mantle now, or is competing for the Art Bell, throne with George Norrie.
I'll give you one example of what Dan Sheehan knows about the extraterrestrial phenomena. He talked about in one of his classes on his YouTube channel, Romero Institute. There's a ton of gold information on that channel in case people are interested. But he talked about being on a jet airplane way up, I don't know, 30,000 feet, wherever the hell they fly, and right outside the window there was a UFO, and there was a scientist inside the plane who was said, "No, I'm not looking out the window at that. I'm not going to look at that." In denial, So that's the kind of stuff that, like I say, if you were fortunate enough to score an interview with Daniel Sheehan, not just for the extraterrestrial, his knowledge of extraterrestrial potential life, but his unbelievable legal career dealing with the biggest stories of our history, the Iran-Contra scandal. I mean, he was the lead lawyer in bringing that forward. So I guess I would say, in line with the maximum truth teller, David Meiswinkle, Daniel Sheehan is another one. He's also a 9/11 truther, if you're not aware of that. So I would suggest, if you can get hold of him, that'd be a feather in your cap.
I will.
Thanks again, guys. You guys are
100%
great.
take that advice, Jerry.
Keep quiet. Thanks again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Jerry.
I was gonna say, Sleepy, we need to call Andy back.
I mean, we can. Hold on. Let me find the number. It was 978, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna call him back.
Okay. And whoever else is calling, just sit tight for a second. We promised Andy we'd call him back.
Classic ring. Let's go.
What's up?
Hey, what's happening? Andy Gerard is on the line. Andy was on the show just last week. He in North Carolina and was documenting some protests that was it state hospital nurses were throwing because they were mandating the jabby jab.
Yeah, it was pretty much statewide at this point. Last week, Friday, when I talked to you, there was only like 5 events planned. And by the way, happy to be back on. Good to see you, Steve. And
oh yeah, man.
Glory.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, Jones
Yeah,
wasn't able to be there for that interview. But yeah, cool.
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. I love what
Yes.
you guys are doing. It's hard to do this work. I'm just finding out. It's like I'm new into this game, and I'm kind of a lone wolf out here, and some days it can be lonely, you know. But I know why I'm fighting. You know, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this. I told Steve I'm sleeping on a couch on a porch right now. I'm like couch surfing, tent surfing, scraping together all the shekels I can to try and pour it back into this work. And I just feel like even though I disagree with the healthcare system we have, I'm still out there supporting folks I disagree with, they have the heart. Like, I think these nurses and doctors, they started with a great intention to want to help people. And I think what we've realized is our system, our allopathic system that we have, without getting into numbers and this and that, because I know you're on YouTube. I think we could all agree that it's a failed system, that pharmaceutical drugs kill about 100,000 people every year, using as prescribed. Medical errors kill about 240,000 people every year. And that's 340,000 people every year, just from the medical system alone. That doesn't even include drug ODs and all these other things. And these are drugs that are FDA approved. We're in a situation right now where this thing's about to be FDA approved, of course, because why not? They approved the emergency use authorization of the jab last year, full well knowing that it was hurting people in those trials. We knew about it. We were talking about it, that it's hurting people in the trials. But when you look at these folks that are on TV saying, they're starting to frame it like, oh, once it's it can't be mandated because it's only under emergency use authorization. It sort of lays the foundation for people to be ready to accept the fact that when it becomes FDA approved, that just means that they can mandate it, and it's totally cool, right?
Yeah.
And that's not okay at all. And I think that these healthcare workers, these nurses and doctors, excuse me, I've been talking to out in Greensboro, Charlotte, Raleigh. I'll be in Mooresville, North Carolina tomorrow. Another 200 miles I got to drive.
All right.
And I'm doing it. And
big ups to you, brother. Shit.
These people need a voice, and if we allow this precedent to be set, I mean, this has got to be the stand right here in terms of bodily autonomy. If it's not made nationwide, and I'm feeling like it's going to be, because these events just keep popping up everywhere down here. Pockets of 200-300 nurses and doctors, and then 1,000, 1,500 on Sunday in Charlotte. Nurses, doctors, people who are vaccinated and still pissed. I had a video I just posted on my YouTube. It says, vaccinated and still pissed. It was an ER nurse who took the vaccine because she wanted to be able to go around her her family members. So in an act of compassion, she does this, right? Totally tricked into thinking that it's an act of compassion that she has to do something to protect someone else. Not knowing the potential risks. You know what was one thing that was disappointing was I was talking to nurses. There's several nurses that don't even know about the VAERS database. They don't know. People who administer these drugs don't even know about the database that the government uses to record adverse reactions. Nurses don't even know about this.
Well, yeah, where's the incentive to tell them, Andy? Like, if you're think about it from the perspective of the people who actually run the hospitals, which are the manufacturers of pharmaceuticals, the manufacturers of medical equipment, like donors, people, if there's an incentive to report injury, it's going to come from an educated patient who then goes to his or her nurse. Hey, something's wrong. You need to report this to VAERS. VAERS? What's VAERS? Holy fuck. You don't know what VAERS is? How long have you worked here? Anyway, that's not the point right now. The point right now is VAERS is where you report injury, and like that. I guarantee you, more often than not, brother, that's how that works.
Yeah. They're definitely controlling these hospitals and these CEOs, big pharma, clearly, because these doctors that work in these hospitals, all they push is drugs and surgery, and it's crazy to see that there's these are people that I'm making eye contact with. They're confirming all these reports of these reactions, telling me the craziest stories about things that they're seeing. And we have the masses out there that are telling, remember last year we were talking about it, Steve. Last year they're heroes, right? I held up a sign on your show that says heroes to lab rats, or heroes to zeros were the signs that these people were holding up. And it's like, yeah, it's just insane to think that the narrative can flip that quickly. 1 minute you're going to be a hero in the public, in the mainstream in society, and then all of a sudden they turn on you, and it can happen that quickly. So I think that what this has done is it has all these healthcare workers totally asking that next level, that next layer of question. Of course, it's a little bit late. It's not too late, because there's no better time than now. But, they're asking really tough questions. They're really receptive and open to other information that I'm there presenting to them, where it's like, it sucks that we're down to the wire here, and it feels like we're going to find out what humanity's made of in the next, 3 months to a year. Really going to find out what we're made of. And we're seeing the kind of spirit that still exists in the human being in France, in Spain, in Italy, in Germany, in Ireland. It's still there. There's still fight left in human beings. It's just, it's it's unfortunate that people won't come to a realization or open up a little bit and admit that they were wrong until it's right there on their doorstep and it's affecting them. It's unfortunate that it's like that, but I think we're at one of those crux points in the story of the human, and we have an opportunity to do something differently. And I think it just every day you go out and try to spread love and like be compassionate for these folks that are totally mind controlled, man. So mind fucked.
Did you see the hypnotist break it down video?
What was it?
There was there was a former stage hypnotist, professional hypnotist, who like walked through the whole mass hypnosis via propaganda and how it happens. And I'll send you the video.
I want to see it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's fucking
what
instructive, informative.
Sure.
Like it really is. Like the way that and wait, hang on. Hey Josh, how much? Well, no, I'll shoot you the link because it's about 45 minutes long, and some of it you can kind of, you know, like, okay, I get it. He repeats himself a lot. But you can watch quite literally hypnosis take place, and it's all about getting people into heightened emotional states, into being that's how they get suggestible. It's about the different ways that you can do it. Dude, he's got a clip of him like where he ran, you know, people out of the audience up there fucking river dancing, and then down on the fucking stage behaving just like sheep.
You know, I actually did this in high school. There was a hypnotist that came to our high school, right? And get this, like, he hypnotized people to like walk like an Egyptian. And I literally was acting like he hypnotized me. I was faking the whole thing because I'm looking around other people and I can't figure out if there's someone else out there faking it or if these people are really in a trance. And I'm starting to think, like, because I don't ever remember, like, my friends, anyone else saying that they faked it. I'm starting to think, like, it really is. It's not that difficult, really. Like, the only, like, thing, what I've noticed with, like, information and propaganda and mind control is, like, Steve, I showed you remember the digital billboard?
Yeah.
This is my shot to travel again and all that
dude,
shit.
it's so gross. It's so gross. Oh, that shit made me angry.
About that video,
So real quick, let me jump in real quick though, because there's a chunk of that video where he says some shit that if you extrapolate it and look at what's going on, like it really fucking just cracks. And it's fuck, god damn it, this is gonna happen. It really is. So he's got the sheep down there, right? And he says, oh, that's right. There's a guy who he sticks to a chair. He makes the guy very, very, very angry. He also makes the guy speak Chinese, but he makes him very, 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 very angry, and he makes him stuck to the chair. Okay, so think about this for a minute. We had all kinds of people really, really, really angry, but most of, especially on the right, all kinds of people really, 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 really angry, but nobody did anything out of pocket. You know what I mean? Like, even with the BLM protest, yeah, dude, there was some shit that went down that was fucked up, but not much, and not nearly as much as everyone was predicting, and not nearly as much as everyone thought there would be. Is it possible that people had you know, I can't remember what he called it, but it's like basically like, you know, just a safeguard that whoever he is intentional as the hypnotist is intentionally ratcheting up and getting him super, 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 super fucking angry, that he has a fucking mechanism in place to make sure that he as the hypnotist isn't going to get hurt, because this motherfucker could pop off, right? So you've got to make sure that part of the hypnotism includes something that keeps the person or people that you're hypnotizing from going all the way fucking violent, or at least make it so that they don't get you.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, QAnon really deactivated the right. Russiagate really got the fucking like centrists and enough progressives to like really trust the intelligence community. The fucking breaking of Occupy got the whole or not the whole, because that's probably not correct, but like all of the people that were like, you know, Antifa or Black or what the fuck ever, like more, I don't know, they were going towards like being anarchist leftists, and now they're like way up in the authoritarian column. Like the activation has all gone towards, and any violence that has been done has all been done towards working class people on working class people. And it's all been, at least in terms of Antifa and the Proud Boys, done as a fucking stage show. Like, guys, you're really putting on costumes to go beat up other people in costumes. That's what you're doing. You're putting on a costume to go beat up somebody else who put on a costume so that you would know that he was the person you were supposed to beat up. And vice versa. That's how that works. That's how you know. That's the only way you know who you're supposed to beat up. You know what their fucking uniform looks like. You had to go play dress up so you know who to fight. Because you know you're not supposed to just go fucking beat the shit out of some random person. You know that.
Right.
Fuck.
Yeah, you basically you nailed it. I mean, I think average everyday people, like what we were seeing there with Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, total spectacle, right? Total just play on our emotions. There was some damage done, but it's well funded. We've seen that. And Q, like you said, deactivated the right into this some sort of trust the plan, hopium, sort of stay on my couch and just pray, instead of getting out and being a participant and standing up for freedom against all of it. Because Trump brought in Operation Warp Speed. Warp Speed brought in what? The shot, which has done what? And now we're at the point where nurses and doctors have to take this thing. But just on an everyday basis, what we've seen with the discrimination, turning people away last year at a record pace. I got kicked out of at least 20 plus stores for not wearing a mask.
Damn.
I wore a mask twice last year, like once to to get into Staples to get my mom out of compassion for my mom, because I'd already been kicked out of 2 Staples. I go in there to make her a Mother's Day gift, print out some photos, and I knew they weren't going to let me in without a mask. Didn't matter what I said. I put the fucking mask on. I was so pissed off. I actually felt like somebody was like tying it around my neck, you know, like somebody was putting it on me as I was doing this to myself. And I was just like, no, like this is not cool. But I still did it because I wanted to make my mom this Mother's Day gift, like just these different photos with like pictures of me, my brother, and our dogs, and our cat, and our nephew, her grandson, all these pictures with for my mom. And that was the first time I put the mask on. And the second time was my friend was in the hospital, and he was like really sick, and they're like, they wouldn't honor medical conditions, at this hospital. So they made me put one on just to get through the door. And I walked in through the door and then took it off and walked through the hospital. And that was the second time. But I mean, the discrimination we've seen with these masks is so next level. I know like sweet, like kind women that have been arrested in California for like shopping without. Are you in California?
I go to school in LA.
Steve, I know you.
Steve's in California, but it's like, yeah, Steve's gonna be right back. But I mean, what it is it's like a pretext for more. Like, if you oppose something like police brutality, then the mask mandates and lockdowns are just a pretext for even more of that. And like, you know, you're seeing that via the treatment of people not wearing masks. And you're also seeing it, you know, worldwide with how people are treated during these protests against the lockdowns and mandated jabs. So it's like, yeah, it's not about your health. It makes that clear.
Yeah, I don't understand how people can't see it yet, but I think there's more and more people we're gonna see over the next few months. Like I was talking about those protests, like there was only 5 when Steve and I talked last week, and now they're just every day all over the state. Like I can't physically be at all these events now. Before it was like, there was only one here, one there, one here, one there. And now they're everywhere, like scheduled for like this entire week, basically. Tomorrow, there's one in Wilmington, one in Mooresville. Sunday, there's one in Shelby, North Carolina. And then Monday, Winston-Salem on Tuesday. So people are not going quietly, and these are nurses and doctors, and I'm going to get their story out. I need your help. That's why I'm calling. I'm just here to remind and sort of ask the favor that you guys help get this word out. I've started posting a few videos on my YouTube and Odyssey channel, but I'm so far behind on videos. It's so hard to keep up by myself. I go out there, have all this footage, and then I have no place to live. So it's hard for me to get internet to upload these videos and all this. I don't even have a phone that can broadcast live because I don't have the money for it. I have a broken track phone, but I'm doing the best I can with the resources I have. And I'm just like hoping that, you know, people will come out and support me, because like these people need someone like me to cover this. And I need this kind of work to like feel good about myself and be able to look myself in the mirror, because this shit's going down right now. Like I just basically walked away from CVS because I couldn't fucking do it, man. My heart wouldn't let me. I told you that, Steve, on the show. Fucking ridiculous, this whole thing. $94,000 a year. I just walked and said, fuck them. And I have no plan. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it. I just know why. I know fucking why. These little fucking kids, dude. My nephew. You know what's cool, Steve? My nephew's name is Phoenix.
Hell yeah.
That's a sick name. I love Phoenix is.
What does Phoenix stand for, right? Rise from the fucking
Yes.
ashes.
Rise from the ashes.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I think this is gonna get a lot darker and it's gonna get worse before it gets better. So everyone out there in the chat listening, I need you all to fucking dig deep. We all gotta dig deep. I'm sleeping on a fucking couch. I don't know where I'm going tomorrow, where I'm gonna sleep necessarily, but we gotta turn inward and find another level of courage. All of us do. You know, I'm not telling any of you how to live your lives out there. I know we're facing a lot of ridicule and pressure and coercion from people we love and know. Like, my fucking cousin told my brother that he was coming home to visit, and he was like, "Oh, we're only seeing vaccinated people, so take the jab." Sent my brother that text message, and I'm just like, this is crazy how it's dividing us. My brother Mike basically trusts, I mean, he doesn't really trust the government, and he knows they're pretty much lying about this. But at the same time, he's over there like always like, oh, you know, he thinks Elon Musk is like going to save the world. And I'm like, Mikey, like my brother, I'm like, Mikey, like, he wants to drill 4 holes in the back of your skull. He's not our friend. Like, this guy has contracts with the government, you know, on all these weird projects. And it's just like, what I try to explain to him what's happening, because he right now he's dealing with it. My family is like starting to slowly pressure him and coerce him in subtle ways to like eventually take this thing. And it's just fucking, I've sent so many emails to my dad and my mom and stuff, and it's like, it's upsetting. They just won't hear it, you know, because they're not ready. And you know what? I think I said it on your show last time, Steve. It's like, I don't think everyone's meant to ascend. I don't think everyone's meant to go to the next level of soul development, because they still got some shit to work out, because they're literally trusting an industry, Big Pharma, who just killed fucking hundreds of thousands of people in the opioid epidemic over the past 20 years. And we forgot about that shit.
While locking up so many more, while fucking just completely wrecking. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah. No, the blind spot for this is 100% fear generated. That's where it comes from. That's all it is. It's fear. And I mean, really, in order to like beat the Hegelian dialectic part of this, where, you know, it gets us worked up and it gets us yelling at people and it gets us fucking you know, to the point of where it's going to be like severing family ties and shit. The only way that you can beat that is love. Like, you've got to be fucking as patient as possible. And I know that people have lost their fucking shit, dude. And whoever JM is in the chat, you're absolutely right. Jamie Deluxe does have some great stuff too. I was trying to get him to call in, and he was going to band practice and then going the fuck to bed because he's old. Lame. Just fucking lame.
Chain smoker too.
Huh?
He's a chain smoker. Jamie Deluxe.
JB's fucking awesome, dude. I love that guy.
I know. I love him, dude. He makes great videos. I want to get him on my podcast.
Oh yeah. So Andy, we're gonna have to wrap the call. But thank you so much for calling in, brother. I'll get a hold of you. Huh?
Yeah, no, cool, man. I've enjoyed my time. I'd like to if you can, maybe get me back on.
Yeah. I thought Jones was saying something. I'm absolutely gonna do that. We're gonna take a week off after tonight. But then we'll be basically back after that, and I'll be in Colorado for a little bit and still doing shows out there. So I'll make sure to I will make sure to get a hold of you. Jesus fuck. Fucking voice.
Great. Do you mind if I just let your listeners know where to find that stuff?
Please do.
Cool. Yeah, you guys can find those videos on my YouTube channel. I'm in the chat at Go Within to Get Out. I also have some videos on Odyssey. You can find links in the description in my latest YouTube videos. And yeah, I would just encourage you guys to share this message of healthcare workers pushing back. Their family members are standing there strong with them. And some families are broken. Many of us are divided, but don't give up on them. They're not sheep. They're not zombies. They're not normies. They're just fucking people badly deceived. And you know what? They're people we know and love. And I think education's the way out of this. Exit from their systems. freedomcells.org. Come together, grow food together, have love together, and get ready spiritually. You guys really need to find that next level, because it's gonna get dark before we get that better world we want. But just keep fighting for it every day. Have no fear and spread love. That's what you're gonna find on my channel. And if you could support me, I need all I can get. And I love you all. Thanks, Steve. And what's your name? Jones?
Glory. Yeah. Well, Glory Jones. That's my name.
Glory Jones. Yeah. Sorry about that.
All good.
I'm grateful for you guys, and have a great night.
You too.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
All right, later.
We'll talk soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve, and thank you, Glory.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for calling in and telling us.
We've got 2 in the queue, and then we're gonna have to wrap it after 2.
And then we're gonna so 2. Yeah, these will be the last 2 calls then. And thanks again to Andy. And do go check out his channel. Go Within to Get Out. Huh?
You are live. Mute your stream.
You go check out.
Mute your
What's
stream.
up? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's good? Who do we have?
Yo. Oh my goodness. I just wanted to say thank you. Y'all are much appreciated out here. And all of your callers, much appreciation to all of them. And let's just get silly for a second, right? We got these beats. How are y'all doing, first of all?
Doing pretty good. Who do we have here? Who are you? Where are you calling from? I'm on my way to getting kind of stoned, man, to tell you the truth.
Well,
Andy was making fun of me for coughing every 10 seconds. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm in Colorado, and man, yeah, my family's been gone for a few weeks, so I grew my first stashed crop, harvested a few weeks ago, cured it, been smoking it, and I wrote something for you guys, like this poem. I'm out here in Colorado. All right, appreciating y'all, trying to spread awareness,
Oh yeah, he brought 2.
We'll mix it up. Hold on. Tell me. Oh, one sec. Okay. I love you guys. Yeah. It's not complete. Hey, what do you do
When you find out it's you, pretend, lie, believe, different. You were tricked, allowed evil to enter, consented, complacency made you complicit, but you're different. Addiction, mental illness, trauma, a tulpa, demon, eating, your spirit, your prana, intuition, replaced by dogma, but you're different. Spark in the dark, you're different. It's only a start, embark. Most others missed it, but you're different. Delusion, distraction, the devil, not you. It's God who rose you to that level, and you don't believe, and I get it. Engineered to forget and neglect it, but it's dormant, innate, survival, instinct, perceptive, telekinetic, knife to slice through deception, firmament, discernment, bilaterally symmetric, magnetic, metaphysical, electrical, current to deter synthetic, love, harmony, grass greener, choose fantasy, button pressed, missile launched from a custom desk onto a family. Chickens came home to roost in parachutes and boots. You couldn't see the truth in plain sight. Snipers on the roof, poised to shoot it, and you're still asking for proof. Ha, shit. Richest got 4 trillion richer, but the media creates context, paints a different picture. Military gear funnels to police departments. BlackRock buying up the houses and apartments. War on everything, anything imagined, expanded identity, language, accept poverty, hunger, pain, or anguish. Weird. They made a pill that made more than a trill. To take to not feel, to take to feel real, to take to feel when you're a thrill or a chill or you're feeling full or you need to feel still. Miracle, panacea, quick fix, convenient, but you see the catch, you're different, can spot the fallacy. You're not an automaton, atrophied by apathy. You're different, image, vivid, etch a sketch, shake, blank slate charged with hate. You're different, persistent, weak, weed in a crack, pen in a stack, hammers through screens of TVs, ain't nothing like it, making millions easy, pushing propaganda, fear, excitement. Think of all the violence they incited, manufactured, divide and conquered. People frightened, the demons we invite in become the demons we've been fighting. But you're different, enlightened. You see it, you can't believe it, articulate it, so surreal. You lose hope and all ability to feel. You fall into a pit of despair. Black pill, nihilism, pessimism, pulling out all your hair because you're different. You went too deep, too much empathy, felt the melody, collapse, scraping the bottom in a heap of debris. Many have fallen, become forgotten, but for thee it was only a steep between a plateau and a peak. Years of projection, never allowing your shadow to speak. But you're different, tuned in intuition. Truth is always stranger than fiction, but if it was backed by evidence, would they even listen if it contradicted how they've been conditioned? All those isms, creating schisms between what is and isn't quote unquote legitimate. 2020 vision, hypocrite, admit it, isn't it? Full of danger, that echo chamber of privilege. Too much confidence from too much ignorance. Unchecked confirmation biases, decades of cognitive dissonance. Mental gymnastics, contortionist master traveling hyperspace distances to lengths, trying to make it make sense. But you're different, we'll make it through. Heavy is the crown of he who tries to wake the fool. What's the prognosis? Is it exquisite or is it simply symbiosis? Don't know, just go, don't continue. Hopeless, the Medusa and the snail, a pupa swallowed by a barracuda. White cisgendered hetero male ranting about the Congo and Lumumba's assassination. But central intelligence agents, one of many, playing in heavy rotation in any and every location. From minerals, resources, colonization, manufacture, consent via subliminal endorsements, state-backed corporate authoritative enforcement. Imagine that, an unaccountable agency built by psycho Wall Street lawyers and top generals who practice Freemasonry. I just want them to leave me alone, but they meet with world leaders in secret in the forest at Bohemian Grove, burning effigies in front of a giant owl made of a stone. Cremation of care. Listen to the thunder and wonder why the dullest brothers collab with Nazis, became the commie hunter. MK Ultra, mind control, deep state, MPC, LSD, and C. Slumber. Go back to sleep, back to brunch. Don't research for yourself. Don't look it up. The stuff that's such a life. Wait, what? Nah, just scoff and dismiss. Just like you've been programmed, conditioned, and taught to be a bit. Nah, but not you. You're different. You're different. You're different. You're different. You're different. Hey, there it is.
Woo.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. A lot of facts in there. I like it.
Mm. Yeah, we gotta stay doggy paddling, keep our head above water, throw the life raft out.
So, what part of Colorado are you in? Like roughly, you don't have to out yourself or anything.
I'm in between Longmont and Boulder, outside of Denver.
Rad. So August 20th and 21st, I will be in Denver for a couple of Assange events. Our good friend Kendra from the Denver Action to Free Assange group is hosting them. Our good friend Misty Winston, Sarcasm Stardust, host of Facts on the Ground and Bitch, and also the Free Assange Vigil. She's gonna be out there. I'm dragging out Charlie Robinson from Macroaggressions. I'm hoping that Lindsay Sharman from Rogueways comes up. Maybe not. I don't know if she wants to speak or not. She could. She could. It's an anything to say thing. That's the thing. The one on the event on the 20th is 10 a.m. We're gonna do a car caravan to media outlets, and on the 21st, it's at Greek Park in Denver at noon. And it's called Anything to Say. We're gonna have a representation of that sculpture art piece. Excuse me. That has statues of Assange and Snowden and Manning with an empty chair for a fourth person who has something to say. So that's what we're going to do, and that'll be cool as shit. If anyone's near Denver, the 20th and 21st, please come down and see us.
That's great, man. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just going off what the previous caller said, and then you can move on. Just let me know. Just about maintaining hope through all this. I have two kids. I have an 11-year-old, almost 12, and a 2-year-old. And so my older one is about to start a new school, 6th grade. And, the local mothers in the Facebook group are just like these squawking chicken heads. They're just completely out of control. They can't wait for the mandated vaccines. They can't wait for the masks. They can't wait for the vaccines for the kids. And it's like black pilling is shit. My wife's sending me like screenshots, like, look at these. Like, is that all the women in town? And it's like, yeah. So anyway, I'm putting together an email with just like all this information regarding the masks, with graphs going back a year, all this information. But, you have to preface it with, I'm not a right winger. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a conservative. I'm not any of that stuff, obviously. But I'm not an anti-vaxxer. But, yada, yada. Like, you have to do it because everybody is so binary thinking. They've weaponized our binary nature, right? Just like throughout the decades, with like the Stanford prison study, Milgram experiment, Kinsey sex study, just whatever. Like they've just like broken it down.
Oh shit! You just broke up there, hella bad.
Oh, I did. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the last thing I said was. I was talking.
It was right after you said the Stanley Milgram experiments, I think.
Yeah, just like, I don't know. I feel like, the ruling class elite, they've like figured out, they've like just honed the technology of mind control, right? Just over the decades, so perfectly. Just with all these different studies, Milgram, Stanford Prison, Kinsey, Pavlov's, just all this other stuff, right? Bernays with advertising, now the first CEO of Netflix was Bernays' great grand nephew or something. It's fascinating. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah. No, just listening, man.
Just the whole history. Yeah, just the whole history of mind control and, information manipulation. It's almost like you have to present that to people, to the normie, you can't just tell, because you can't just like tell them what's happening. You have to like almost, do it through like an analogy or a metaphor, or like a story or art or I don't know, like reference it. And it's like this process of like planting seeds, so you got to do it to like young generation, right? And just like, just look at what they're doing now with everything. I mean, it's just targeting the young. I mean, it's just crazy.
So Andy from Go Within to Get Out, who just called in, is saying that he would like to get you on his podcast. And he wants to know if you're on YouTube.
Sorry, what can you repeat that, man?
Yeah, Andy, who just called in before you from Go Within to Get Out, he would like to have you as a guest on his show.
Okay.
So he's in the YouTube chat. Also, I'll draw my the email for the show is sndshow@protonmail. I'm happy to connect you. You reach out directly to him. And you guys can figure that out.
I'm Emu Sings up in here.
Emu Sings?
Yeah.
There you are. There we go. I'll put that up on the screen right there.
Hey, okay.
Got that, Andy? Have you not noticed that we've been able to do that since we can see the YouTube chat and StreamYard now? Oh, you can't. Okay. Never mind. Sorry. Josh, can you see that?
Yes.
Cool. You should do that whenever you're bored. Pull a random comment up.
I could.
Yo, so do you guys ever enjoy popular culture movies, shows? I mean, are you able to do it anymore?
Not really, but maybe.
Kinda.
I can check out on some shit. Yeah.
I love my kaiju and I love my anime. So yes. But Hollywood
I
can
used
fuck
to
off.
be I used to be the biggest cinephile in the world. Like, I mean, I still am. I love movies, but then then once you start sort of, you read Devil's Chessboard, you just start waking up. Your godfather is the head of the Fulbright Scholarship Program in Jordan. It's like you just start looking at new things, and you can't go back and watch all this stuff. It's like, I don't know.
So okay, so I was at that point, and I've kind of been able to get past it.
Me too.
With a lot of things. Not with everything, but I do think that once you get to a certain point of I guess like black pill, but you kind of want to see the white pill on the other side, like maybe there is, there's some, it's kind of like dumping your brain out, man. It kind of is. It's kind of like grabbing a book to fall asleep with at that point, because you already know what it's supposed to be doing. You know inside you how to like safeguard from that, and so you can just kind of watch a fucking movie and check out a little bit. I'm not saying it happens with everything, man, but it can happen with some shit. Plus, I have kids. I'm about to go watch The Goonies with my 9-year-old. You totally check out for that and watch it, even though fucking Cher's in it.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's just,
and the Corys.
I block all celebrities so I can still watch shit and not get angry.
Ooh,
that's my secret.
There's some good stuff in this session.
I watch anime, so my favorite characters don't exist in real life.
No. But anime, I used to Vampire Hunter D, Ninja Scroll.
Vampire Hunter D is good shit. I'll give you that.
Ninja Scroll, too. Fist of the North Star, Perfect Blue. Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, man. That was
Dude, the soundtrack for Cowboy Bebop is incredible.
Yeah.
So good.
Absolutely.
Yu Yu Hakusho is so close to my heart. It's one of those old school ones, but
I love that old school stuff. Yeah, it's just I think we need to teach the young ones like the history of television as this weapon of war too. You know, it is like I don't know if you guys know about this, but in around 2000, there was a patent made for it was like an LCD screen where they could adjust the flicker rate output and kind of control your, you know, it could make you feel nauseous, almost like directing infrasound at you. You know, it would like make you so physically nauseous and unwell. So imagine the technology that they, you know, really have to really. I mean, like there's articles years ago about how they have devices that can, you know, predetermine your you know what you're going to search for, like the whole precognition crime, you know, fucking Philip K. Dick, Paul Verhoeven dystopia.
No, man.
Anyway, I love it. Yeah.
Well, all right, brother. We gotta wrap the call, but thank you so much for calling in, dude. That was fucking awesome. That was kick ass.
Yeah.
And I hope you can make it to Denver in a couple of weeks. That would be rad. We got a microphone for you there too.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
All right, brother. You take care.
Bye.
All right, this is the last call. Make it a quick one.
Yes. Yes.
Hello.
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 Hello. If you're hello, who we got? And where are you calling from?
It's phenomenal mysticism.
It's who? I'm sorry.
It's phenomenal mysticism from Massachusetts.
Oh,
Alright.
phenomenal mysticism. That's
Oh.
right. You're Mindy's mod.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Nice to hear from you.
How are you
Me
doing
too.
tonight? Or this morning, if that's where you're at.
It's about 1:30ish. And I'm doing good. So, do you think that when the next pandemic comes, will people be as paranoid as this pandemic?
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
If not more so, if the pressure will at least be you know, even you people who fucking, you know, held out blah blah that fucking this is super serious, it's a real one this time, like that kind of shit. There's always, and it honestly doesn't matter if it is or not. If that's what the marketing says, and there's a clamp down on free speech, there's a clamp down on these kinds of platforms, they actually get away with the rendition of Julian Assange and international jurisdiction over the press if all of the like net neutrality provisions, you know, prevail to be fucking non-existent, if Section 230 gets repealed. Like there's a lot of things that can happen between now and then that would severely compromise people's ability to have access to all of this information. So I mean, yes, it's possible. I don't know if that is a certainty. I would like to think not, but yes, it's possible.
Yeah, the government says that we're gonna have to be wearing masks again. Starting Monday at my job, I'm gonna have to wear a mask again, and I don't like that. And I'm not happy about that because I tried my best not to wear a mask if I don't need to.
Yeah. That's solid.
And I think that some people on the left don't know the difference between allies, friends, and enemies and rivals.
Yes.
The thing is, people still want to say these politicians are our friends, but yet, if they're our friends, then why aren't they asking them to go out to dinner or go do something fun with them? They're not our friends. And they can't be our allies if they're not even doing the basic bare minimum. And Cory Bush this week is pretty much a pseudo progressive of the week, I think. She ended up extending an eviction moratorium, but it was only Nancy Pelosi's plan anyway. She ended up doing the bidding of Pelosi. A better plan would have been to ask for rent cancellation, but she didn't do that.
So you guys all know that they had this thing fucking figured out before anybody left for recess, before Cory Bush ever had a staffer go out and get her a sleeping bag, before fucking any of that happened. This was a done deal. They already knew. So what nobody is fucking paying attention to that drives me goddamn crazy is that the CDC is the organization that determines this. They have the power to
the government.
The CDC does that, not Congress. Congress is the last one in line to get it. That they were talking about how the CDC, the fucking congressional fucking Republicans were talking about, like, oh, well, if the CDC does this, then we'll fucking have the Supreme Court intervene. The Supreme Court intervenes before Congress does? Why the hell? Why is that the process, and why is nobody talking about that?
That's
fucking weird.
Very weird. What I was getting at is that Cory Bush antics really had nothing to do with trying to extend this eviction moratorium, and I don't know why she thinks it's a win, and it's not a win. It's pretty
Your
much
audio is cutting out really, really bad.
Oh, I have.
We need to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes, y'all.
Yeah. We're a little over time right now.
Okay.
Which is cool. I mean, but I'm watching Goonies with my kid, dude.
Mm-hmm. So.
Stoked.
I'll see you later.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for holding it down over there on bitch for Mindy. Yeah.
Fellow mod gang member, I got you. I see you.
I am also part of the mod gang. I'm moderator in Franco's chat. Nico. Convo Couch. Burmese. So you have a good night, and you have a good rest of your weekend.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to shut down the phone lines and the show. There was a Super Ray over on the Rockfin. Displeased Mike. Thanks, guys. You're the best. I saw RFK Jr. speak last Saturday in Gordonville, Pennsylvania, and I learned a lot. Kick ass. Including our lost hope of the Nuremberg trials. I'll call in next Friday and explain. Displeased Mike, we are looking forward to that. And thank you, man.
Thank you, Displeased Mike, for the Super A, because it is always appreciated on Slow News Day. Heard that little chuckle from Sleepy. I know it made him smile.
Jones, what you got?
I don't know. Can't really think of anything right now. Keep an eye on the @FreeCommanderX_ Twitter account. We'll be putting out some updates soon, probably tomorrow, but yeah, soon. Just yeah. So, but one thing I will say is, he encourages everyone to adopt a dog if you can, because he loves his baby boys, so he wants everyone to have one too. Yeah.
I got 3 rescues, so
Kendra just got a dog, and I'm gonna go hang out with that dog. So I will be hanging out with the dog for at least like 10, 12 days. So that counts.
I want to steal that dog, by the way.
That's the stupidest, ugliest dog on the planet.
He's adorable.
So stupid and so ugly. She's just hideous. Most hideous puppy I've ever fucking seen. Dog's fucking ridiculously cute, dude. It's stupid. It is. We're off for a week. I gotta move. And yeah. And that's gonna take a minute. And we'll be back with this show next Friday. And I'll pop in like with some update stuff. I definitely want to do like a test stream when I get up there. And that will most likely happen with my good friend Ben Balderson. Yeah. Buy Sleepy Josh a coffee. Buymeacoffee.com/Bort. Bort, B-O-R-T, Bort. Well, and thanks everybody who called in. I fucking love this show, dude. I really do. This is so much fun. And thanks as always to my better than your co-host Glory Jones and Sleepy Josh on the ones and twos. Nobody tech ninjas like the tech ninjas.
Thanks God Tech Ninja.
Love the hell out of you guys. See you here in a bit. Good luck to us all.
Love y'all.